going on, guys? It's your boy Alex here from Royal Street Krew. Today you might be thinking, what have I got in front of me? And yeah, this is something new that I did pick up the other day because a new series is coming. I can't say too much about it yet, but I will tell you that we are building a Barra, as you can see what I have in front of me. And today for episode 1, we're going to be stripping it down. The plans for this engine are going in a project car for me and my brothers and my dad to work on, and a channel car as well. We're going around about 600 to 700 horsepower with this engine. Forged rods, oil pump gears, valve springs, head studs, maybe some cams, and then a E85 tune. So thanks to Dominator for supplying the parts, which you'll see in part 2 of this series. I'll drop his link just here. Yeah, so shout out to Dominator and for hooking us up with some engine parts, for sponsoring this video. And we'll get right into it. So what I have done already is I pulled the coil pack cover off, and it has exposed the rocker cover here. So this is currently what we're looking at. I've got you guys set up just up there. So I've taken the coil pack cover off, so all of your coil packs in there, but I've taken them all out. So your spark plugs are down there. So there is just 6 10mm, so there's one here and whatnot. And then there is these two, I believe, T40s on the end. Usually there is the VCT seals here, but I have already taken them out, and they are in the organised boxes over here. So once you take all these out, loosen all these bolts, and then you should be able to pull the rocker cover off there. So I'm just going to pull the rocker cover off now. So again, just these 10mm on the top, which I've already pre-loosened. They are not actually this easy to get out. They stay in the cover, so just don't freak out if they don't come out. And it is good to have organised little boxes, as I've got over here, with labelling and stuff on them, so you don't lose any of your parts. Especially going this extreme and stripping down an engine. So once all that's out, you should be able to just lift it up, and the whole cover should just come off as one piece. Okay, so after you pull the rocker cover off, which I've just chucked over there, you will expose the top of the motor. This is a double overhead cam motor. Obviously your cams in there. These do have a tiny little bit of pitting and score marks, so we might replace those as well with some stage 3 or 4 cams. So what you do next is you take off these 10mm bolts to take the cam caps off, and all these bolts over here. But we'll get to that in the end of the video, because right now we are aiming to take this timing case off first. To take the timing case off, there's 2 bolts at the front here, one there, and then you'll see a few. If I just get a torch here, you'll see a few bolts on the side there. And there is some tricky, I know, on the bottom of the engine. There's a little 8mm just there, and one on that side also. And then just your general bolts around the side. And that whole case should come off then. So we'll start stripping that now, and we'll get back to the video then. Alright guys, we finally pulled all the bolts out. After a long tackle with a pry bar and some screwdrivers, we finally cracked it loose, and it's ready to pull off. Wiggle it, because the old gasket's all stuck on there, and it should just come off. And there's the inside of your timing case. And now we'll strip the front of the engine, take all the guides off. This is your tensioner. If you stick like a really small Allen key in there, it'll release tension, and then you can just pull the guides and everything off. So what we did, we just pulled the tensioner off, 2 8mm bolts, and that let the chain come loose just there. Now what we have to pull off next is the guide nuts just there. They're 10 mils, and there is 3 of them. And there's also, I believe, a 13 mil just there, and then that should come off as well. And we'll also pull the sprocket off the crank. Apart from that, we're looking pretty good. So after that, then we're just going to take all these cam caps off, and then the VCT solenoids. Take the caps off, pull the cams out, pull the heads off, and get it ready for valve springs, which are getting put in tomorrow. Shout out to Dominator Motorsports USA. Again, I'll drop his Insta and website in the top of the description. As I said before, pulling the full chain off, the sprocket down there, the cams, caps, and everything's coming off because this engine is getting fully rebuilt. And in tomorrow's episode or the day after, we'll be replacing the billet, the oil pump gears with billet oil pump gears, because as every FG owner knows, they like to go rat shit after 300 kilowatts and a lot of limiter bash. So we'll get them changed out. I'll get the valve springs changed out and the head studs, rebuild the engine, and then it's ready for boost. So I'll keep you posted now. Taking all the cam caps off here. I've laid them out on the bench in order: hot side on the right and cold side on the left. And now I'm going to undo the head bolts in here, which are a E18 socket. So we'll get that on a ratchet now, and we will loosen those so we are able to pull the head off. Keep in mind when loosening these bolts, I do suggest you get a long bar. This probably isn't long enough, as the head bolts are really tight. I've already cracked 2 and had a bit of a struggle doing that, so we'll try for a third one here. So I'll loosen all these now. And when we're ready to pull the head off, I'll pick it back up for you guys. I have loosened all of the head bolts. They're all loose and ready to come out. So I'll just start pulling these out. We are going to be replacing these with some Dominator 12mm head studs, because studs are better than bolts. If you're going to push any more than 300 kilowatt, I would suggest putting some head studs in there, and do the whole thing while you're there. Do valve springs, head studs, and also do the oil pump gears. And the head will fit just nicely on our bench. Actually, might chuck a rag down just to save oil getting all over the bench. Alright, awesome. We've got all of our parts. We've got the head bolts, the crank sprocket, timing chain guides, the tensioner, the chain, the exhaust cam, the intake cam, and all the caps there. This is the head gasket. Won't be needing that anymore because we will be replacing that. So let's chuck that down there. Yeah, everything on the top of the motor looks pretty normal. Don't worry about the stuff that's in there. That's just that was in the spark plug holes when I pulled the plugs out. Obviously, this motor is second hand, so we got to clean all this stuff out and get it ready for some boost. Alright guys, that's going to be it for episode 1 of the Barra build, the 600-700 horsepower Barra build. I will let you guys on a little secret, so if you have stayed to the end of the video, you'll know what car this is going in and how this all started. So I wanted to originally build an EL XR6 with a single overhead cam motor and just turbo, but then I've seen this beauty of an engine come up really cheap through a mate of mine, so I decided to grab it. And we were going to buy an EL, and then the sale fell through, so I'll show you what we ended up picking up. Might be a bit dark, but we picked up a Series 3 AU XR6. I'll show you better in the daytime. I'll include a photo just here. Yeah, so we just got that. Ooh. Yeah, we just picked that up yesterday, which was Sunday, which I don't know when this video is going to be uploaded. So we're going to take the engine that's out of that now, and we're going to go the boosted LPG engine, mainly because they have the forged rods. Well, not forged rods, they have thicker rods than the NA engines. So we're starting to strip down in this first episode. As you can see, we've got all of our parts on the bench. Everything in nice, good order here, with the engine looking in good condition. Next episode, we're going to be replacing the oil pump gears in there, for changing them to billet pump gears. We'll be changing the valve springs, so if you want to learn how to do them, stick around the next video. And we'll be replacing these nasty head bolts with 12mm head studs. Again, from Dominator. Big shout out to Dominator Motorsports for sponsoring this series. So stick around for next video. We'll be putting in the pump gears, the head studs, and the valve springs, just to make sure when we're pushing a lot of power that we don't break or bust anything, and then it costs us more money. So that'll be it for this video. Stay tuned for next video. We'll strip the sump off and get a look at the bottom of the engine, and then we'll put all those parts on. And then episode 3 will be rebuilding the engine and just doing a few little bits and pieces, resealing, cleaning, and all that stuff. And then the video after that, possibly, or it could be earlier, we'll be taking the engine out of the AU in a couple of days. So get keen for that. This series is going to be really something else. We're going to go drag racing, roll racing, and everything in this car, so it's going to be a street sleeper. As you know, Barras never came out in AUs, but yeah. So anyways, that'll be the end of this video. Make sure you like, subscribe, and leave your comments down below, and make sure you press that bell so you know when this series gets uploaded, because there will be plenty of episodes to watch and plenty of awesome content and how-tos if you guys want to learn how to do stuff yourself. So, and just quickly guys, before I actually go, if you want to keep up to date with the build and get to see a bit of behind the scenes and some stuff before we post the next video, make sure you check out the Instagram below. We'll be posting some photos and especially a lot of stories about the build. So make sure you subscribe. Make sure you follow the RSK Insta just here, so you'll get all the behind the scenes and everything like that. Again, remember, RSK is a family. Spread the word.